dig down that tunnel, oh my God, what we found. We discovered that this 81 kilowatt system wasn't generating any power. Zip, nothing.
So that's over $30,000 a year.
Yeah, sitting up here, wasting away, doing nothing.
But here's the part that should make every commercial solar owner kind of uncomfortable. This wasn't a failed system. It was simply...
Presented by Your Energy Answers.
In the commercial world, hundreds of thousands of PV systems are now hitting that 10-year plus mark. I wanted to find out how it had weathered the last decade plus. We brought in Riley and his crew from the solar service guys to help us figure out what was going on. And the first impressions? A big red flag.
Oh, we got our isolator here anyway. Looks like a sun tree isolator. They're definitely LGs. 300 watt LGs. These LG 300s sometimes had issues with the back sheeting starting to fail. And you can kind of see, it doesn't look like it's in too bad a condition, but it looks like the back sheeting starting to come off a little bit.
So what can that do in the long run?
It can cause the back sheeting to continue to deteriorate, and the glass can actually collapse in on itself due to the weight.
So it gets water into the panel.
Yeah, water into the panel can cause rooftop fires. So it can be a bit risky. The panels deteriorate to a point where the system no longer works, but due to the strings being plugged together and the high voltage, it can cause issues there as well. So definitely haven't been cleaned. Bit of lichen starting to form.
How much would that affect output?
It can be a pretty dramatic effect, especially if they're left on a long time. Once you clean that lichen off, you can kind of see where the hot spots have started to form and the cells have deteriorated.
But I mean, it looks like up the top there, they've got it all.
Yeah, it looks pretty bad up the top there on that back section. So look around, we'll double check all our cabling looks all right. So the cable containment looks pretty good on this one. They've used steel ties, which is good to see, or a mixture of plastic and steel, but at least they've used some steel ties. So.
And that wasn't really 10 years ago when this was installed, that wasn't typical, was
No,
it?
not particularly. So a lot of people would use plastic ties, and after a year or two, just in the Australian weather, they just deteriorate and just fall apart. So yeah,
I mean, the lichen problem on the roof overall is pretty bad.
Yeah,
isn't
I
it?
think they're going to have to get a full lichen roof clean, and then obviously clean the panels at the same time. And that way,
and not use a Kershaw or a pressure spray, what people normally do.
No. So if you're using that, you're damaging the panels. You're breaking the seal around the outside, and water will get in, and your panels will begin to fail.
Right.
Yeah, look at the lichen on it. It's pretty bad, isn't it? And there's nowhere to walk down the middle for maintenance. You have to get close to the edge. So the fact that they haven't left a maintenance gap, the fact that the panels seem to be a little bit too close together.
This panel, when it hits the afternoon, this panel will overshadow this panel. So the shade of this panel will start hitting the panel ahead.
Yeah, it's probably only just hitting the bottom of it, which is where the lichen is building up because there's no sun.
When the system was originally installed, the panel rows were placed relatively close together to make the most of the available roof space. So the lichen wasn't really the issue, it was actually started due to the initial design. Who would have thought? So the poor design created a long-term maintenance issue for the system owner. And this is important. Lichen like this doesn't appear overnight, it builds up gradually over many years, often without any obvious warning signs. So the performance just slowly dips away. Unfortunately, the lichen galore wasn't the only problem. When we looked at the inverter bay, oh my God, we found so many issues straight away.
At the moment, I can visually see all of the inverters on the rooftop have a red fault light on, and the screens are quite damaged by the sun, especially the ones facing north, which is this one over here. Its screen is facing north.
Right.
And these ones that are facing west. So it's going to cop the westerly sun. Looking at the system, all 5 of them have a fault light. Yeah, there's only one screen we can really read, and it looks to be the south facing screen, funny enough.
This is this one, is it?
Yep. And it's a grid fault, and it says to check the fuse. So it's likely that possibly the fuses in this board up here are blown. There's no lights on this board up here. which is our Sunny Boy web box for monitoring. The fact that that's got no power to it as well brings me to look into the solar distribution board. My guess is that the mains trip. All of our circuit breakers have also been tripped into the off position.
Which means that the second monitoring device, which is the
Solar
solar
analytics.
analytics, doesn't get power, meaning both monitoring systems are dead.
So what we'll do, we'll fire up the main switch and we'll individually turn the breakers on. The other thing we'll be looking for is whether or not any of the inverters pick up power or whether any of the solar analytic lights come on. There may be a further issue where the switch downstairs has actually gone to the off position, so we'll have to try and locate that. It's not labelled very well, we can't tell where it is. It should say where it's fed from in this board so we can identify it and find the issue. So
Oh, look what I found here.
I'm guessing it's birds nesting in the cable tray.
Jesus Christ, they've definitely, wow. There's
could've
even,
snuck in here as well.
what's that, a manual or a bit of tissue paper? Yeah, of course. Why not bring that in to make
Yeah.
your nest all soft?
I've seen it before on other commercial properties where birds have built nests in the cable tray, lived inside it because they like it nice and hot. The birds can peck at the cables and it can damage the cable and cause either fires or it can cause insulation resistance errors. So there are a number of issues with obviously birds nesting and something like that.
So, like in a murder mystery, we had some key questions. Why did the system get fully turned off? Maybe there was a major safety issue down there in the plant room that was ready to be discovered.
There should be quite a large breaker down here that feeds power to that switchboard and then it's distributed from there. So there should be a PV identifiable label to let them know that there's PV on site.
But I mean, if you're half a novice, how can I tell it all of these which one has anything to do with solar? So really, if you'd have an issue with the solar system and you want to turn it off down here,
It'd be difficult to identify which one you need without finding the correct one.
I mean, there it says solar net.
Yeah, my guess would be that this would be the main switch for the solar system, just due to the fact that it's plainly marked as distribution board 2. The other ones all have a location set to it. So let's see if we can find this.
All I hear is guess. Should it be a guess?
It shouldn't be, no. It should be a lot more clearly labelled.
We couldn't actually find where do you turn the solar on and turn off. So, with good guessing, we turned everything off we could find, we turned everything on we could find, we played around, and finally we said, okay, should be working. But guess what? When we went up back into the inverter bay, there was still no power going up to the inverter. And the monitoring system, the power for that came through the same power as the inverter. So if the inverter turned off, no monitoring. It never had a chance to raise an alarm.
Yeah, so we found that this little board here, which has no identifiable marks, that there would be a solar distribution switch inside. If you open it up, it's written on the inside, which is awesome. And the solar supply main switch is sitting there.
And it's off.
It's currently in the off position, yes.
And do we know why?
No idea why. We've just found it. It's strange that it would be off down here and on the rooftop.
I mean, they wouldn't trip both at the same time, would it?
There's a possibility, yeah, if there was a large fault of some sort or a
What
large
about
surge.
lightning also?
Possibly a lightning strike may have caused it, but it's very, very difficult to prove. That's the hard part of it. So I'd be keen to try and get it fired back up and working.
Are you game to turn it on?
Yeah, I'd like to open up behind and just have a look and make sure there's no burnt cables or anything like that. Ideally. Yeah, it looks alright. No burning smell.
Looks clean.
Yeah, it looks.
I mean, it looks like a decent job. I mean, for
It's
an
not terrible.
electrical switchboard.
Yeah.
If you're into that kind of thing.
I've seen worse, but it's also not the best. Alright, I'll close this back
You're
up.
being so critical of other people's work all day.
Oh, well, when you see some of the stuff we come across over the years, you get a bit of a. It becomes frustrating seeing
Get a
work.
bit of an allergy against
Yeah,
chunky
it just becomes frustrating because you go out and do your best job, but then other people in the industry ruin it for you. So Yeah, it's one of those things.
All right, let me...
You want to watch?
Yeah, of course, come on. But you wouldn't know if the solar works now until you get up on the roof.
Yeah, we'll have to jump back up on the roof and have another look. So I'll lock this up. We'll jump back up and hopefully we can get some of those inverters fired up. Oh, you're scared the shit out of me. Well, there's proof of a bird nesting underneath the panel. He just flew out and scared the absolute crap out of me. So, wonder if there's any in here. So we now have power. Solar analytics light is starting up. So we got L1 there. Hopefully L2 and L3 come online. We're starting to get power over here to our SMA web box. And this inverter sounds like it's starting to kick over.
Somebody manually turned the entire system off on all the switches 4 years ago. As we looked to the site records, we discovered that an air conditioning crew asked for permission for safety reasons, if they're working near the solar, to turn it all off. And the most likely conclusion? The air conditioning repair team working nearby, after their work, never turned it back on. It's an easy mistake to make in a busy office. But if nobody specifically had maintenance on their mind and is a solar expert, you're losing $30,000 annual savings, and not just for a year. We should have been thanked to find this issue and bring them back into the savings. But even after Riley was able to switch this system on, there are still many issues with this site. Like we found UV damaged plastic cables. They fell all around, they're gonna block the gutter. It's always an issue with plastic cable ties. Panels were installed right up to the roof edge, making safe access almost impossible. The labeling was all over the place. One isolator was left hanging behind the array, completely inaccessible. And the tilt frames themselves, they were kind of homemade, no certification. The installer, whacked them out in the garage. Well, nowadays, those ones wouldn't really be allowed on a roof anymore. But how does the owner know? And like any other part of infrastructure, be it a car or other electrical equipment, you need to do regular maintenance. So if you are the owner of a commercial solar system and your electricity bill has gone up, maybe you need some maintenance. So the solar service guys who only look after that part, not selling you a new system, they can come out, they can check it, they can tune it. Just like your car, you wouldn't drive 1,000,000 Ks in a car, never have it tuned. If your solar system has been up there for 6, 7, 8 years and not much done to it, you definitely need some maintenance. So give the solar service guys a call, get it fully tuned up, get your maximum savings of the investment you already made. It makes common sense. Hopefully, you will go into action. Till next time.
Please support the channel by liking the video, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell, and check out all our other videos. Want more energy answered? Visit yourenergyanswers.com for quality energy products, tools and calculators, and find your quality local installers. You're still here? I'll see you next time. Bye.